Hi, my name is Cole Wallace, and from my political experience, I will be speaking on the second debate between Ted Cruz and Beto O'Rourke and my overall first experience as a first time voter in the state of Texas. So, for my first part of my political experience, a couple friends and I decided we were going to have like a little watch party for the debate, and we got together in one of our rooms about 45 minutes prior to the debate starting and just went over what we thought was the debate was going to be over. So prior to the debate starting, we all just sat down and talked about what we thought the debate was going to go in the direction of. With being in the state of Texas, we definitely thought that climate control was something that both would be asked questions on. Being in Texas and talking about oil, which is a huge part of our income for Texas and what, develops a lot of jobs as well. We knew that would probably be a well-developed question for both candidates, as well as immigration laws, since that's something both of them have touched on in the past, both in the first debate and in their campaign advertisements. Another thing me and my friends discussed about being a possible topic throughout the debate was border control. As it was hinted at before, that Ted Cruz did agree with some of Donald Trump's ideals or pertaining information about, their feelings and opinions about the border. So we were interested to see if that was a question that would be asked to either candidate, particularly Cruz, since he does speak on that more. So as the debate got closer in time, we all got out notebooks because we wanted to take notes throughout the debate so we could have talking points for after the debate was over to have further conversation. We watched it on just CBS because that was the easiest thing to pull the debate up on. Throughout the debate, we thought Cruz would stick to what he normally does more than answering completely the questions. He's more of a rebuttal and flipping the question back on the candidate and attacking. And he did stick to that, so we did assume right. But what was surprising is that Beto took a slight turn to use the same tactic, as he was criticized off of the first debate for not attacking as much as former competitors had. And so while he did answer questions completely, he did stand his ground more in the second debate with a little more edge of attacking when Cruz would use either unreliable information or information that was invalid to the question. So after we finished watching the debate, we compared notes, and the main topics that stuck out to us was ballot security, abortion laws and the regardings of it still correlating to Roe versus Wade, the use of statistical bias, the conversation of climate change and border control / security, healthcare, cost of traffic, and supporting Harvey survivors, since that is something that touches home, especially with Texas. All of them, the only two that we claimed that we knew was going to be talked about before we watched the debate was climate change and border control. After my friends and I discussed what all was talked about in the debate between candidates, we decided to further the conversation, asking the questions of what does this mean to us as voters, as new voices of America, as informed citizens, and so on. We think that it's important that we do take the time to watch the debates and take time and to be up to date on what is going on in the Congress around us, in the classrooms around us, because that's how we're going to make the change. Being able to have conversation of what's going into legislation, what new policies are going to be passed. For me, it was important to know who I was voting for and what they stood for, because I didn't want to go in and just straight party vote like a lot of people do. I wanted to know what I was voting for and why I was voting for it. And I think it's really important to know that information before you get into the booths. For me, as a Black female in this day and age, it was interesting to go into polling and only see older white women as clerks, and there was only one Black man. And so that was different from my specific experience, because I didn't walk in and see people like me voting or helping to vote. As my friends and I discussed our voting experiences and how we felt going into it, we really all agreed on the overarching liberation of how great it was to have such a high young voter turnout in the past midterms, and how it is a step in the right direction. Though we agreed that the things we wanted to see go into motion didn't happen this election, it's a step in the right direction for the next election, and that we have to keep getting informed and keep the conversation going, because it's how we're going to make the change that we want to see, rather than sit and be part of the problem. And lastly, to wrap everything up, the debate really shows that there are people getting into politics that do care more than just what looks good on paper, but what's going to overall help the people and what's going to build a better community for the generations to come, which is very impactful and warming, because at the end of the day, we just want to live the best life and to be in the greatest state of mind that we can be. And so seeing that there's people like Beto O'Rourke speaking up for minorities and the underdogs of the community, it's warming to see that we're stepping in the right direction. Though he didn't win this past midterm, I don't think it's stopping here. There is a force of change that's moving in motion, and I think as long as we keep the conversation going, we're going to get the change that we want. But it takes speaking up and going out to vote and keeping the conversation going to make the change happen. And so I really enjoyed being a part of a midterm election so impactful and so close in numbers, and seeing that, change is coming and that there is going to be a flip of switch soon. So with that being said, that was my political experience, and I'm excited to see what happens in this time that I get to be a part of a movement.